Frenzzyy family, good night everyone. Welcome to another Sports Frenzzyy podcast. And tonight we'll be discussing some football transfer news. As always, I'm your host, Levan. With me tonight I have Ryan. And as I said, tonight we'll be discussing some transfer news because today for us is basically, well, going forward, it will be known as a football Tuesday, man. Mostly football will be discussing on a Tuesday. But if you guys know about the show, man, I need you guys to comment more on the show in terms of on YouTube because this is a platform that we're trying to grow more. So I need more of you to comment, share, subscribe, and like, and hit the notification bell, man, to get notified whenever we go live. But Ryan, your club is in the market, you know. You haven't made any move so far. Otherwise, some outgoings because you have let go quite a few players so far, especially some youngsters. And it said that you're on the cusp of signing a backup goalkeeper in Bettinelli, who was at Fulham. No one, no a free transfer. So they said that you're on the cusp of signing Bettinelli, and you're also chasing Jules Kunda. And boy, it leads me to ask the question: why would you guys actually want to spend so much money on Jules Kunde, even though it is said that Kurt Zuma will be offered as part of the deal? But I mean, why would you sign Jules Kunda for that much money when you guys had Fikayo Tomori? And in my estimation, he's quite effective, and it's not a case that as if Jules is way superior than him, to be honest. So why would you guys want to spend so much money on that man when you had someone that they brought through your academy?
To me, Jules and Tomori are lateral switches. So if we had kept Tomori, there would literally be no reason to buy Jules, and it would be also cheaper, given that he would cost keeping Tomori would cost less. So to me, it's a mind-boggling decision as to why we chose to sell Tomori when we could have simply kept him. And there are other things as well in terms of Jules' height in the BPL might be an issue because he's short for a central defender. He's 5'10". You know, typical centre backs are like 6 foot and above.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and you know, BPL is a league that crosses and physicality is a huge menu is a huge part of. So it's mind-boggling in terms of why we sold Tomori if it is that we are going to get a next defender who is 21, 22 within the same age bracket.
Agreed upon. What to make of you guys also signing a keeper, knowingly that Edward Mendy is your first choice and Kepa is your second choice. So more than likely this keeper will probably be third or fourth choice. So does that make any sense to
But
you?
assuming if Kepa stays,
So you actually think that you guys are going to let go Kepa?
it's a possibility. But normally every team, remember that every squad have to have three keepers in it. You know? So we're going to need three keepers anyway. If it is that Bettinelli becomes the number two keeper, we're still going to need an next keeper. So every squad really needs three keepers. So it's neither here nor there to me. We have a number one already.
But deep down further, otherwise from you guys actually trying to sort out your central defense. I think where this actually is coming from is that you know that Thiago Silva ain't getting any much younger, so that is part of the reason why you guys probably chasing Jules Kunda, knowing that in a sense I wouldn't say he's a natural replacement, but he's quality enough, and you know that a lot of top clubs are actually chasing him, so that could be a possible case as to why you guys actually want him. What do you think about that?
It's possible, but it comes right back to why did we let go Tomori when we are getting somebody who is the same age for more money. And Gui, I never wanted Gui to leave either, but that I can understand. You wanted more first team football. Tomori is good on the ball like Kunde, so it's not like Kunde has more attributes than Tomori in terms of Kunde maybe good on the ball and Tomori isn't, and we want somebody who's good on the ball. Or one is good in the air and one isn't, and we're trying to get the one that is good in the air. Tomori is actually very excellent in the air, so Um, I don't know what attributes Conde has that Tamor doesn't have that they chose to make that lateral. It's a lateral switch from, as I said. So I don't really
I'm
see
trying
much
talking
difference.
about two more era pros as well. I don't quite remember who they were playing against last season when he actually soared way higher than Cristiano Ronaldo did in a
Ronaldo.
particular game.
Hmm.
Yeah, I remember that header, man. I was like, damn, man, that was a very good header. So as I said, in terms of
And
era pros,
he's not very tall. He's what, 6'1"?
yeah,
So he's not very tall, but he's tall for a defender, but not very tall. So to
really good.
jump that high takes some doing.
And also, you guys also have a player that you sent on loan to Porto last season in Malang Sarr, and I think he's a decent talent in terms of central defensive skill. You think that he's a guy that can actually break into the first team, or you think he'll probably go out and loan again?
Remains to be seen. Right now, I don't even know who will break into the team, who will stay, who will leave. Right now, everything is up in the air for me. I really don't know
All
who,
right.
except for the fact that Christensen will likely be there and Thiago Silva is on his last year. So right now, I don't know who else going to be there as a centre back.
All right. So if you look at your team overall now,
Oh, but one other thing though. One other thing. I think Tuchel will remain with a back three, and by so doing, remember Conde can also play right back, so he will more than likely be the right centre back. Um, so and he and Aspilicueta is the same height, 5'10". So they will, I think, is something where they might interchange um, or share minutes or what have you. So yeah, it remains to be seen. But I think that may be what Tuchel is looking at in terms of phasing out Aspilicueta.
all right. Bless up to everybody that has tuned into the live. I appreciate all of you guys, man. Just keep the comments coming through because we want to interact with you guys as well. So just keep the comment coming through so that we could answer to your questions, whatever queries you have, whichever team that you want to know transfers about. Just go ahead, leave a comment, and we'll attend to it. Now, as I was saying, if you look at your team now, right, it's also been said that you guys are actually chasing a striker. First up, we heard about Erling Haaland, and boy, as it is being said at this current moment, $175 million. You think that you guys will actually go out and spend that amount on him?
Why not? Why wait next year? There's no guarantee. I mean, it worked for Manu in the sense that they waited a year and they knock off 20% off Sancho's fee. So it is a possibility where if Chelsea wait another year, it will go down to like what, £75 million or something to that effect.
Yeah, 75 because that's a release clause.
Yeah. So, but then no, you're doing that. You open up yourself to other suitors. So it depends on what they want to do. But I saw something recently that's where it was said that BVB, even though they sold Sancho for less money, they made more money because Sancho was integral in getting them into the Champions League, which by virtue of doing so guarantees them more money. Because remember, we're here on the program talking about if BVB can make it enough.
Yeah,
And
I always said that they would have.
yeah, they made it. So they were saying that the 18 million that they lost was actually a net gain when you factor in that he got them the Champions League position. So I think a journalist was doing the same thing with Haaland. Say if he stays another year, and if it is that he's sold for the 75 million, it still may not be a loss.
No, man, it would be a way more significant loss.
It would be
Knowing
a,
that,
it would no.
all right,
That's what I'm saying. It would be it in terms of monetary value. It would be more than the 18, but they are saying that in terms of getting them into the Champions League, it would still be a net profit, even though they will lose like a significant portion of his value.
all right. If you look at the Sancho situation, right, you could probably say that it was a win-win for both teams, in which that
Pretty
United
much.
chopped off 20%, and then Sancho helped them because it was basically Sancho took it upon himself for the remainder of the Bundesliga season,
Yeah.
actually got them into that top 4. But in Haaland case now, remember that currently it's 175 million euros that they're actually defending. So if you wait
Mm-hmm.
until next year where it actually go down to 75, it will be Dortmund that will actually lose out in that case because the
Yeah,
price
yeah,
will
yeah. I get that. No, I get that part. But they're saying in terms of the guy was working out a way. He was saying that in terms of the money that Dortmund would get from
mm,
going into the UCL, if
mm-hmm.
he fires them into it, it would be way more than what they would lose from selling. It would be way more than what they lose from selling him for that money. So they were
Mm-hmm.
saying it would technically not be a loss in the real in the true sense of the word. If you
And
get
that's
me, yeah.
yeah, I get where you're coming from.
In terms of net value, it would not necessarily be a loss. So it depends on what Dortmund want to do. If they wish to, it would be a big hit still, yeah. But it depends on how they choose to play this one. It worked for them with Sancho.
Yeah. It's also said that if you guys don't get Haaland, you're targeting another Bundesliga striker currently plays for VfB Stuttgart. His name is Sasha Kaladzic. He's a young Austrian striker and he played at the Euros. Never did as expected because a lot of people expected more from him. I believe he scored over 14. Is either 14 or 15 goals in Bundesliga last season. 22 years old. Target man somewhat. Do you think that he's a worthy replacement?
If we go into that, might as well keep Tommy and stop the lateral changes because that is a next lateral change. And
Yeah, because
we also decided to keep in Broja this year because he got a contract and everything, so he will be a part of the first team. So if it is that we go and get somebody who's 22 and who is a target man just like Tommy himself, then why sell Tommy? Except for the
um,
fact that Tommy is a,
correction,
I don't know, I
correction.
don't know.
Kaladzic is actually 24 years old now. I initially said 22, but he's actually 24. But here's
Okay.
Agent was saying that I doubt BVB will lose both Sancho and Haaland in one window.
I don't think they want to.
And from a business standpoint, would that actually make any sense to lose your two top players within the same window?
More than likely not.
Exactly. But Dartman has signed Daniel Malen. You could say they signed him as a replacement in which he's not quite the player that Sancho was because two total different players. One is a striker because Malen plays as a striker and he's a striker that can play as on the wing.
Wide.
And
Yeah.
but in terms of quality, because they paid what $30 million for him, value for money, you think?
Yeah, he's a good player. Another good player that Arsenal chose to lose.
I was just about to ask the question. I just said, once you leave Arsenal, your value go
I
up.
wasn't going to miss that chance, trust me. He's
Well,
a
so that you've been accustomed to.
he's a quality player. He's not Sancho level player, but he's a decent, good enough player that can improve.
Agreed upon. But let's point out that first up, since as we're going to well, before I move on, are there any players that you probably look at that you could say Chelsea could probably sign to bolster your squad going into the new season?
Apart from Holland,
Yeah, man, that's from Alan.
um, mm, not necessarily. I heard that Burnham maybe want to leave. Um, I really don't know. I just hope that the Hudson-Odoi and those type of players, the French players, step up. Hudson-Odoi and the Moroccan guy. What's his name again?
ZH.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Oh, name slipped me. Yeah, we just need those guys to step up.
I say as long as they have that, then you'll be good going into the next season.
We
Because
need we need the players, the fringe players, or the not even fringe players as much as first change players or whatever, rotational players to step up. That's it. Once we get that, then we should be fine in an attacking sense.
okay, all right. So major news that was because it was when I believe it was last week Thursday that Demo, Kems and I were here and we're talking about Sancho and Sherwin was like, Brother, the man that signed for anything, which you don't know, so you think they already agreed is just for United just announce it. But yeah, Sancho was announced on Friday. Sancho is a Man United player. And then earlier on today, it was said that a deal has been agreed in principle to sign Rafael Varane for what? I believe the fee is
Portland.
$34 million, rising to 42 with the add-ons. Um, Value for money, or you think that he's a player that is in regression?
Value for money, but he's in the same player he was during the World Cup. After the World Cup, there has been a drop, but he's still a quality. I think in 2018, from about 2014 up to 2018, you could consider him a world class centre back. But right now, I think he's just a shade below world class. So he will. I was thinking about it today, and I was saying that, boy, if Maguire outshine him, I won't be surprised because as good as he is as a defender, I think Ramos was more the dominant player in that back line as opposed to him. But he is a quality defender nonetheless.
Yeah, and that's
But
and that's my thing though, because as I pointed
and,
out, all right,
and not only
finish it.
that, you saw what Rio Ferdinand said when Rio
Mm-hmm.
Ferdinand was basically explaining the league. He's saying that because you know that Varane and Rio Ferdinand are similar in terms of playing style with the ball and
Yeah,
cooling, can compose and whatever. So Ferdinand was basically seemingly giving him some advice and saying, "Boy, you're going to get a lot more pressure, and you're going to get a lot more air ball to deal with, and that is where you need to step up." So
a lot of what? Go again.
that no, Ferdinand was basically saying that there will be a lot more pressure on him, especially with the balls in the air and
But
forwards bullying him and so forth.
stick up
So
in right there though. In terms of aerial, right?
mhm.
I believe the last 3 seasons for him at Madrid, he had 77%, 71, I believe 75% win ratio of balls in the his aerial duels. So that isn't bad because Maguire is at, I believe Maguire was at 70 or 71, I think.
Yeah, but you know, you get more ball in the BPL and more physical forwards than over La Liga. La Liga, they keep
True.
the ball more on the ground. So when you might get 10 ball in the air in La Liga, you'll get 15 in the BPL, for example. For
So again, they
example.
come back down to ratio. So the
Exactly.
ratio
Yeah.
of the La Liga vis-a-vis the English league is two total different scenarios. So yeah, I
That,
get what
that,
you're
that,
saying.
and that was what Ferdinand was talking about today.
But all right, the thing with me though, right now that I look at is that he and Maguire are basically the same in terms of both of them plays out the ball from the back. Both of them you could say is good with the ball at the feet. But in terms of you could say ruthless aggression, neither of them has that. And
Remember when the Euros was beginning, I said I fear, I don't know if I said it on the podcast, but I know I said it in a group, that I am
mhm,
worried for Maguire and Stones because they play the same way. And when the Euros was
worked.
played, I saw that there was nothing to fear because
So there's nothing to
they did
fear.
better than I expected.
So I can actually just say, okay, there's nothing to fear in this situation.
We shall see.
All
Euros
right, so
and BPL are two different stuff. But
yes,
yeah,
travel with Weasel.
huh?
All right, I'm going to read this comment on the screen. So yes, travel with Weasel saying that I think Varane is too weak for the league. Strikers here are tough and aggressive, but for that money, I would take him to. You're sure how weak he has gotten. Agree with that, Ryan?
I think the concern that writer has is the same concern that Ferdinand had this today.
Yeah,
So, but
and he's
as I said, he has seemingly lost a step.
agreed somewhat. There's also AJ Campbell saying that I think a change in scenery and environment could be great for him, being that he practically won everything. So yeah,
That's
I
also
was
very
going to
true.
follow up to what you were saying now. Could it be a case that this man has achieved everything there is to achieve? So you know that the lack of interest
Yeah,
has fallen. So
Which is why Bowl said he retired at 30. There was nothing more for him to do. So now you get a change of scenery, you get a atmosphere. You have a new challenge, so that's possible.
Sherwin, go easy, man. So, Ryan, earlier he was saying that you must just give him Abraham and done.
What's that?
Sherwin was saying earlier on that you guys should just give him Abraham and done.
Hmm. Give him and done. We only give Arsenal players over 30.
Well, here's also Anthony Henry saying that Werner doesn't want to leave. That's just a rumor. He wants to stay and prove himself. As a Chelsea man, you
Okay.
agree with that too?
I could say.
Here's Pepe Paul saying that that's what they said about Ruben Diaz. And I think he's mentioning what we're talking about Varane in terms of being weak and all of that. But at the end of the day, 34.2 million probably rising to 42 million. If you ask me, I'll take that for a man that is 28 years old, has won the World Cup and what is it, 4 Champions League, 3 league title. I'll take that any day of the week.
Won everything, and then you pay 50 for Ben White, was only one what that championship.
Two, two championship player of the month. Well, we're not going to beat the Arsenal man them tonight, man. Let's just be analytical. Um, Across the league, yes, they're chasing Aaron Ramsdale, as I said earlier, and it leads you to think that they're doing something that you guys did as well. You let go of Tomori, and it's now after Jules Kunde. They let go of Emiliano Martinez and now chasing Aaron Ramsdale, in which, again, don't make any sense to me. Do you think it make any sense overall?
I don't understand it. I don't get why. I don't understand the decision. I don't understand the rationale. Um, when Leno was at Leverkusen, he was always error prone. He was never going to be a top class. Better than average, yes, but I don't consider him a top class keeper. I've never considered him that. He has never proven to me to be that. So when he went to Arsenal, he would have always been a good keeper, but not a keeper to bring Arsenal to the next level. When Martinez came in, Martinez showed that the little time he was there, he stepped up. Basically, let me just put it that way: he stepped up. But somehow Arsenal decided to sell him to cash in, and last season it was proven that Emi is the better keeper.
True.
And now they're trying to cash in on um, um, uh, Leno for a
Yeah.
goalkeeper who has been relegated 3 times in his career. So
Probably that's not want to join that party too as well,
I
man.
don't, I wouldn't mind.
I swear. But they're also looking at a player that you and I have discussed about on multiple occasions, and you had watched the podcast that I was talking about him on, and you pointed out something to me that I had totally forgotten about, and that's James Madison. We're talking that he was actually a number 10, but you pointed it out to me that he himself has said that he wants to play as a number 8. So can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, similar to Oxlade Chamberlain. Remember when Oxlade Chamberlain was playing right wing back under Arsenal, and Chelsea and Liverpool were going for him. He said that he wants to play as a central midfielder, which is why he chose Liverpool, because Conte wanted him to play right wing back, and he said no, he's a midfielder. He wants to play that position, and is a similar thing, not the same thing, but similar thing for Madison. Madison said last year that he played only a handful of games as a number 10. He played most of his games as a number 8. And he prefers, he's not going to be that number, he's not going to be the typical number 8 that runs around, tackle, get up back, run, go up. He's less of that type of number 8, but he has grown more into his defensive game. So he wants to continue to improve
So
in that
based
area.
on what you just said, Ryan, a lot of people think that says Pogba plays as a 6, but Pogba would more than likely play as a 8 in terms of box to box and all
Yeah,
of that, right? So
yeah.
you'll say
Even
Madison's of that
even
mold.
though, yeah, number 8 don't mean you tackle. You run down a man and tackle him and then get up back and run, gone up the field and so forth. That's not necessarily number 8. You have different types of number 8s. So he's more of an attacking number 8. Madison,
Okay.
that is. but he said that he has grown into his defensive game. Similar thing to what I saw Conor Gallagher said when he went out on loan. He said that since the West Brom loan rather, his defensive game has improved and he wants to improve it a bit more. So he does not want to be seen as this guy who can only play up the pitch. It's
Yeah,
similar thing that Madison is saying. So these guys want to improve in a more defensive role, in a more midfield type of role as opposed to your typical
attacking.
number 10.
Yeah. So you think that would be a perfect fit for Arsenal? Or let me rephrase. Do you think that Arsenal would be a perfect fit for him?
It would be an interesting purchase. If it is that he gets that position, it would be a very interesting purchase, especially with the fact that Smith Rowe is seemingly is going to be a starter. It would be very interesting to see Wilson and Smith Rowe and the Saka and support dovetail. It would be
Okay.
interesting.
All right. As I said before, City hasn't done any business as yet. Otherwise than signing some youngsters and sending them over to clubs in France. Because I believe they have sent two players over to Choice, and they're not going to let go. Pedro Porro was on loan at Sporting last season, so I think Sporting is going to activate the buyout clause to get him in. Quality defender, and he joked about he has been at City for what around 3 years now, and he and Pep has never exchanged word. So man says probably it's time for him to leave. If you look at it as well, City overall, you think that they have something huge coming? Because as I said, they have been surprisingly quiet right throughout the window so far. They think that they have something big coming up because I've seen a lot
Yeah,
of rumors that
Hurricane.
say you don't think that they're going to get also Grealish in that mix as well.
It's possible because I saw something about selling Silva for Grealish. So it's a possibility. And
Okay.
I also saw something about if that happens, then Foden will be playing more in a midfield three.
Mm-hmm.
Financial fair play is not on this season. They're relaxed for this season.
Yeah, it's just for them. I think I saw rumors the other day that they're being investigated for making what over 500 million more than every other club. So I think that's where
Oh,
this
oh,
comment is
oh,
talking.
oh, 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 oh,
Yeah,
oh,
man. I
oh.
saw it
Okay.
the other day. But I just have a feeling that even though Pep keep on saying that, oh, we're not going to sign any striker for any crazy figure and things like that, I just believe that they're going to sign somebody.
Yeah, Ken. We know that.
Yeah. All right. In terms of Liverpool, as I said the other day, I've signed Konate and that, so we won't really talk about them much. Spurs now on the other hand, they have let go Eric Lamela. They have brought in Brian Gill from Sevilla. So Lamela to Sevilla plus $25 million for Brian Gill. And they've also sold Toby Alderweireld to a side over in, I believe it is Saudi Arabia. I stand corrected at this point in time, but I believe it's over
It's
there.
Qatar? No Qatar.
Let me try to remember. Yeah, it's either Saudi or Qatar. Don't quite remember at this point in time, but they sold him for $13 million. Good deal for them, aren't it?
Yeah, I mean, Toby was clearly not the Toby of 2 years ago. So he has dropped off. So they need a leader now in the centre back. It can't be Dyer. It can't be Sanchez. So they need a proper centre back now.
Christian Romero, they said that they're chasing.
Oh, that would be a good buy, I think.
Yeah, and remember that they even have where it come from again? Wales. Is it Wales?
Oh,
Joe.
Rondon. Joe
Yeah.
Rodon. Rodon,
So
rather.
yeah, he could actually be a coup for them in terms of owning one of those positions. But as I said, Ryan, if it's Eric Dyer, they're in trouble, man. And Davinson Sanchez is a walking problem. I personally wouldn't start that man in any team at all. Even if I'm getting him for free, I wouldn't take him. But in terms of Tottenham, I think that they're shaping up well. And is there any possible chance that they could keep hold of Harry Kane?
I don't. They will keep hold of Kane, but I think Tottenham will. I don't know what to expect of Tottenham right now, but I don't think they will be competing for a top four. they will struggle to keep a top six. As things are right now, like today, they will struggle to hold on to a top six, well, or
Okay.
to get a top six position.
Okay.
So
So
it depends. But I don't remember who it was. I think it was the same Mourinho was saying that the Tottenham Hurricane replacement is already in the team.
Dane Scarlett,
Yeah,
talented fellow. Well, I don't think they're going to put him into the team as it because we have seen. Well, let me retake my comment because Nuno proved that Wolves that he actually gives chances to youngsters as proved with Pedro Neto and all those guys. So I was
hmm
going to say he was going to give chance to him, but possibility exists that he might will do that with.
and if Mourinho himself was given a young player like Scarlett chances, that means that he must be good because we know Mourinho are young players already, and they were hyping up Troy Parrott as the next player, and we see how that and we see how him and Mourinho go.
Yeah,
So
and then again,
remember the time when Mourinho played him when he was being pressured to play, man. Parrot flop and Mourinho threw him under the bus in the interview.
yeah, and eventually they sold him because I think he's now at what, Coventry or one of those teams. And if you look at it, you could say that Nuno is a poor man Mourinho, you know.
Pretty much
Yeah, he is. They
in
basically
more
play
than one way.
defensive. Go again?
In more than one way, he was his poor
Yeah.
man goalkeeper in on the bench.
Well, you're right about that one. But in terms of all that, I don't really see Tottenham going far this season based on who they have and based on how that coach tend to play.
Yeah, I think they will be in transition this season.
Yeah. All right, let's now look at something that is closer to home. After you leave the podcast last night, I actually asked Mr. Butler the question about one Leon Bailey.
The
He
question I was
somewhat,
trying to ask,
yeah, man, he tried to go around it somewhat by saying that he has to remain tight-lipped, but all I have to do is just read between the lines. So basically, ask him about Bailey's move to Aston Villa. Was saying that, well, first question I asked him was Bailey injured? He said, where me get that from? He said Bailey wasn't injured. I'm coming from Butler. Well, there's only one thing I can read into. If Butler himself said that Bailey wasn't injured, it obviously means that this man is probably on the cusp of a move to another club and they don't want to risk an injury. No, earlier on today,
I was
earlier,
thinking the same thing. I was thinking the same thing during the game, and I was going to say it on the match thread
mm-hmm,
when he wasn't coming on because I was remembering the Di Maria incident in the World Cup final when Real Madrid never wanted him to play because I
yeah,
was thinking that this is something deeper than just Jamaica because I've seen this before with players. They
yeah,
don't risk them in a match so that they don't get injured and stuff like that.
yeah. And earlier on today, I saw where they said Aston Villa had launched an official bid of £35 million. So, do you think that this would be a good move for him career wise? Do you think he has a higher ceiling to attain more in England than
Well, put it this way: Villa, they are making some good purchases. They seem to be a team on the up. They seem to maybe going back to the Martin O'Neill days when they were a top six club and they were trying to become a top four club, which never worked out. But yeah, I think right now Villa is a good team to go if you want to show off yourself to maybe go to the next level. And if it is that they do keep Grealish, whether they keep him or not, um, it's still an exciting project that they're trying to go about having. So it remains to be seen though, but I think it's a decent move. And being in the BPL, it's a bigger audience that will see you as a player. So good move for me.
you see what one particular decision can make a difference? Because remember that it was that game against Sheffield that they were on the cusp of being relegated from the league, and they came back and they stood in the league and they did decent last season up until Grealish got injured. You know that they started to peter out
Yeah,
until he came back. But oh, look at it now. They signed Emiliano Buendia, the player of the season from the Championship from Norwich.
yeah.
They brought back Ashley Young, one of their former stars back in the days. No,
Are
it
they
said
still
that
going for what pros?
what pros? No, I
Yeah.
don't see much of that anymore. That has somewhat fallen by the wayside because all right, if you honestly look at them, right, and the project that they're building, what pros isn't really a necessity as it stands in now because up top you know that they're going to start with Ollie Watkins. Left hand side you'd have Grealish. Through the middle, you'd have Buendia. Or it could
No,
be a
but remember
case.
what pros is
All right,
better
hold
than
on. Let me rephrase it.
Douglas
Hold on.
Silva.
Hold on. So let me change it back. So Bailey more than likely will probably be on the left. Grealish
Uh,
centrally and Buendia through the on the right. In midfield now, Magin and I believe the youth that they purchased from Marseille, Morgan Sanson, I believe he'll actually shine this season. This is a season that I
yeah,
think he'll actually
but
step
here's
in
the
the
thing.
league.
I don't think Sanson and Douglas Douglas Lewis
Yeah.
are better than Ward Prowse.
Yeah.
We can argue that Muggin might be better than Ward Prowse, but I don't think the other two are.
All right, so once again, here's AJ Campbell saying that it could be a good move, being that they're trying to push for Europe. However, going to Villa is a downgrade if you're trying to play with the best players, which is what they want. What in which is said
No,
is
because
that
I mean, who at Leverkusen are the best players?
agreed upon. Leverkusen is just like a stepping stone for most players. They're,
Precisely.
they're, they're, they're a team that develop players because even, I mean, I'm a big German fan. I like German football, but I just see Leverkusen as a developing club for these major clubs. Because even Florian Wirtz, I can guarantee you that within a year or two, Florian Wirtz will leave Bayer Leverkusen. I can guarantee you that. So I mean, they're not a club that tend to keep hold of their stars because if we're looking back at couple, well, I don't even have to go back that far. Let's just look at recent history. Julian Brandt came through. What happened? He's now at Borussia Dortmund, in which I think it was a wrong move for him because it hasn't worked out any at all. He has regressed dramatically.
What did
Then came
Leverkusen? What did Leverkusen came this season? Like fifth or so, sixth
when last season,
last season. Yeah.
yeah, I believe that's where they came.
Who said Ward Prowse? They don't watch football then.
But as I was saying though, if it so all right, let me bring up the comment. Seriously, him saying that WordPress offers nothing else apart from dead ball situations.
What if
I don't
Ward Prowse only offered dead ball situation? He could not be captain of a Ralph Hasenhuttl side.
agree upon that. But as I was saying, after that they had Kai Havertz. What has happened? He's now at Chelsea. And as I said, Wirtz is seen as the next big thing for them. And if Wirtz keep on improving, in which he will continue based on the environment that he's in. So very soon we'll actually see him move to a top club as well. So if you look at it, it could be said that Leon Bailey has somewhat outgrown Leverkusen at this point in time. Last season was his best for them, and yeah, it's probably time for him to take up a new challenge. But if you look at it now, Ryan, there hasn't been any much move in other teams in England. But outside of England now, you have Barcelona who has been signing players and a lot of free transfers. They signed Memphis, Renal confirming Sergio Aguero, Eric Garcia, but they're also chasing Sal Niguez, and it is said that they wanted a swap deal between him and Griezmann. But I saw reports emerging that Griezmann and them are in negotiation to extend his deal at Barcelona. So good move or bad move for them.
What Barca wants to do is move around money because when you move players, you sign them for 5 year deal. It is amortized each year on the books. Is not so if it's 40 million pounds for 5 years is basically 8 million per year they put on the books. So what Barca is trying to do is to move around money to free up spending power and wages. So um, as it is with them, and I don't know if signing him for to extend his contract is a good deal for a from a monetary standpoint, but I don't know. I don't know if it's a good deal. To be honest with you, I don't think extending a deal when you're trying to free up space in the budget is the wisest decision.
So a lot of people are questioning as to why Madrid is doing that because, all right, it's looking at it, they're saying that Madrid probably won't sign any players this window again because you know that they're basically in the same position that Barcelona is. Now they have lost Sergio Ramos, they have lost Rafael Varane, and they signed David Alaba, quality in terms of centre back wise because that is where he has been playing for Bayern over the past couple of years. But they also haven't signed anyone. So they're
Yeah.
trying to
Then your
free up.
next, then your next centre back. They need a right back because Nacho is a makeshift right back, and Carvajal is always injured.
They need a
So
lot of things.
then, yeah, exactly.
And
Let me
then
just
you have the major movers in the market. PSG was signed quite a few players and free transfer. Gianluigi Donnarumma, Sergio Ramos, Georgina Wijnaldum, and then the only players that they spent money on is Akraf Hakimi. Good window for them, is what you would say.
very good window.
So you would
Yeah,
actually alright, looking across
PSG
Europe,
on paper has improved. Remember last season I was saying that PSG has a workhorse midfield.
no
When you really
creativity.
look at their midfield, I don't really see any creativity, and I think they're trying to address some of that right now.
But I still think it's a workhorse midfield either way because
It
why not?
still is,
Them is going to
it
steal.
still is, but at least that's the way they're trying to make some adjustments.
So would you actually say that they have taken the window thus far?
So far, they have had a good window.
Was that the best window for you?
Probably them
Okay.
right now,
And in
and
England,
Manu, and Manu,
okay. All right. So
unfortunately, but yeah.
any final any final thoughts?
Uh, well, a lot of things will change in terms of the windows. Some teams start early, some teams go late, and so forth. So we will, within the next few weeks and so, we will see how all of this transpire. If City will make their move, well, clearly they have to make a move. Clearly, Kane has been given a green light to go, so I don't think City is going to let that one go by. And other teams will step up. So interesting days ahead, really.
All right. And in terms of your club,
What about my club?
expect you guys to make some move now.
I think we need a midfielder. I don't think Kovacic is a starter. I think we should go for Rice.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, I think we need a midfielder and maybe a defender.
Okay.
And yeah, I think, and make some sales, sell out the deadwood. We have a lot of, too much deadwood in the team. So a lot of them need to go and raise some funds to get proper players.
Yeah, man, but then also naturally money is not you guys' problem.
Yeah, but we need to sell because the problem with us and selling is that Marina wants to sell 8 million pound player for 18 million pound. She likes to drive a hard bargain.
Yeah. I
So
like to drive down other people price
other
when
people
they're
price,
selling.
which is why we have so much deadwood in the team.
Well, I can say the same for my team as well because we give these players some ridiculous wages, and when it's time to sell them, nobody not willing to offer them that. But this is where we're going to end the stream. It was a pleasure being here with you guys. All 15 and it reached 17 at one point of you guys that tuned into the show on YouTube. It's a it's great to have you, man. And as we keep on saying, keep on spread the word, keep on sharing it, comment, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so whenever we go live, you can actually get the notification and you can tune in. We want more of you guys to comment and, as I said, keep on sharing it and subscribing. Thanks again to Ryan for being here. We rode along tonight solo. Well, not really solo. Both of us were here for the night. But bless up once again, boss man. I just hope that we want to see a lot of transfer deals take
Yeah.
place. Want to see a lot, man. And as you said, you want to get rid of a lot of deadwoods. I can say the same because I don't know why Jesse Lingard is still at United, Phil Jones, and all those guys. So yeah, I can agree with you on that one. So as I said, thanks to our viewers. It was a pleasure being here with you guys. Thanks to our producer Josh Carl who makes this possible. Until next time, which will be tomorrow. Take care. Have a good night. And go and watch some Olympics. Don't tell I don't want you guys to tell me about Olympics just start Thursday. Olympics has started a long while now. Go and watch some swimming, some judo, some fencing, and all those sports. Go and learn some new sport, man. Until tomorrow, take care, guys.